I'm not sure it's legal in this state to marry a snowboard. Maybe if I move to Utah. No offense to anybody from Utah. If anything, my girlfriend's not looking tonight, I might make out with it. Maybe even if she is looking. I mean, we're not that kinky, but it's a good snowboard.
BoardInsiders. Real riders, real reviews.
I just got done taking a few shredder runs on the Never Summer Funslinger. It's a 153 centimeter board. The camber profile on it is super extreme, more extreme than the rest of the Never Summers. They still went with their classic rocker camber profile, which is reverse camber in between the feet, so like a smiley face, and then regular camber underneath the insert, so like you're frowning. But what they did is exaggerate those camber zones this year. So you set this board flat on the ground and it literally teeter-totters to one side or the other by a couple inches. It's got that much dramatized camber zones. You can just chill back and let the board do its thing.
It's edge specific, so this is going to be the heel side right here, and this is the toe side. First glance, it doesn't look like an asymmetrical board at all. It doesn't have that weird like nipple over here or whatever. Not gonna lie, I didn't feel a difference, which it's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to feel very natural and fluid, so that's a good thing. I've definitely ridden some asymmetrical boards and you really feel it.
We've rode this same resort for 3 years in a row, and this board, out of any that I've ever tested, rides flat more comfortably than anything I've ever experienced. I don't know what it is, but you can ride flat base on nothing steep and you get no squirrely, you don't get any weird edge drag. You can just go straight forever and be lazy.
Any kind of board slide, when I grabbed, zero hang up, zero catchy feelings. And then I was like able to butter out all the rails on these fat tips. The effective edge is brought out a little bit further, so even though this is a 153, it kind of rides like a 155. Turning was amazing. It was that psychic turning where you just like think about it and it magically, psychically happens.
It felt like there's no swing weight, no anything hanging you up. What your mind wanted to do, the board just allowed you to do it.
Buttered like a champ. Pretty much destroyed park all day on this. I like the ease with just jumping onto this, not being my own board, and it felt like I was born on this thing.
I weigh about 110-ish, and pressing was so easy on it. Buttering was great. It was nice and poppy, like got some good spring off and on rails and off the jumps.
Really soft. You still got the stability from the regular camber on the ends, but if you really lay into this, this thing will loop you out. It's just gonna happen. It's a really, really silly board is what I was calling it all day.
It's the rail slayer. This board did far better on the rails than it did on the jumps. It wasn't because it's too short, it just was lacking a little bit of stiffness in the tail to kind of bring you, let's say I'm in the back seat, which happens to me a lot. So I need a board that'll bring me back down to the ground when I touch my tail down. It'll bring me back into the front seat and allow me to continue going downhill. This board was a little bit too soft for those first 6 inches of the flex pattern to actually bring you back. You kind of stayed in the back seat and rode it out from there.
I took it off some jumps. It was a little hard to land, but I mean, coming off the jumps, I didn't feel squirrely or anything. That regular camber gives you really nice pops instead of like the just loosey-goosey reverse camber.
For the softness that it had, all that did was make it super playful, but I don't feel like they compromised on pop at all. It wasn't real soft, but it's soft. A lot of washouts. I was kind of putting my hands down at first, but once I figured out the flex points on this, it absorbed everything. Definitely not a noodle. I felt like the soft flex was kind of towards the tips, like probably right about where the effective edge is. I felt if I came back a little too much, it wanted to squirt out for me, but once I dialed in where those were, then it was a champ the whole day.
I would definitely recommend this to someone that has trouble buttering with stiffer boards or anything like that because of this board. It's so soft that you just lean back and it's just in the air. So fun though.
I prefer it more for jibs. Locked in great for 50-50s and board slides and even presses and everything.
This board is for anybody that wants to have a super blast on all park features. And you know, I think anybody could jump on this and start riding it and having a good time. It's pretty jibby, but I don't feel like it slacked on the jumps at all. Really light spin weight. Spin it to win it. I was doing like 37,000s and stuff on it.
Take this on the streets anywhere you want. You can press this to the ends of the earth. It is crazy. And because of that regular camber though, it really does lock you in as long as you don't throw all your weight into it.
I gave this board a 97 because it was great all around. I'd buy it for sure, like no matter what.
I gave this board an 89. So for me, I really liked it on rails. It was a little too soft. If you really lay into things, you will slip out. Also landing was a little difficult sometimes on this board. But I mean, if you're looking for a nice little silly board.
So I gave this board a shred cred of a 95, an exceptional board. It did great in most of the areas, and in the other areas it didn't do that bad.
I gave it a shred cred of a 100 because I want to buy this board immediately. I loved it.
For the latest snowboard reviews, check out BoardInsiders.com.